On Saturday, the Osage Nation will commemorate the 150th anniversary of its removal from Kansas to its present-day reservation lands in northeast Oklahoma. Our Native Affairs reporter, Kennedy Sepulvedo, joins us now with more on the events surrounding the occasion. Kennedy.
Rich, that sesquicentennial event on Saturday commemorates the removal of the Wajaji-Nakashi, or Osage people, to Indian Territory, but it also celebrates the resilience of the tribe throughout the last 150 years.
When the Osage moved here in 1872, there was just about 5,000 left. And then there was about 15 years of great difficulties where in starvation and others, where the full-blood population dropped to about 1,500 people.
By 1890, nearly 90% of the population was lost, and along with it, much of their culture.
We had what we thought was important to save, and we've been trying ever since then to hold on best we can.
Chief Standing Bear entered his third term as Kahika in July 2022. During his time in office, he has focused on improving dance arbors and community centers for traditional dance ceremonies like in Lanchka, and language revitalization and preservation.
When I was growing up, it was normal to go into a room and see all the elders talking Osage. But the loss of the language occurred very rapidly. They have worked to create an internationally recognized orthography that has been approved so they can put it on keyboards. So it's now on our cell phones.
Other projects include using the ARPA funds to address mental health and emotional well-being among tribal members, developing elder housing, and expanding broadband access.
A large amount of money, totaling about $54 million in grants from the federal government. And our teams are going to serve not only the Osages, but all of the community, which is underserved now with internet generally. Some of us are still on satellite. So that's really exciting. That's really a game changer.
Appropriations from the CARES Act assisted food sovereignty efforts.
We built a meat processing plant, greenhouses, and enhanced our ranch so we can feed ourselves. COVID broke a lot of the supply chains. We were short on food in this part of the country.
The Sesquicentennial Advance celebrates these advances and accomplishments while also looking back at the last 150 years. A new exhibit at the Osage Nation Museum will open for the event on Saturday. The exhibit features Osage artists' reflections of origin stories, land, and future generations, and photographs of the original 2,229 Osage Allottees.
All of the people, tribal membership, are descendants of these individuals, and so this exhibition is going to be up along with the images of the artists, and so it's like, you know, kind of like a living exhibit because people are going to be adding to it as it's up on the wall.
The Osage Nation Museum is a community engagement museum and has been since it opened in 1938.
Doing collaborative exhibits is a very important part because you get a multitude of voices that are working on these issues. And so it's sort of like facilitating that narrative and that story because, you know, no nation, no group of people is a monolith. We have a diversity of voices, a diversity of things. There's always an overlap there. And that's where you find the power in the statement and the power of the people.
The Osage people have seen tragedy and triumph since being forced to current-day Osage County in 1872. Due to the Osage purchasing their reservation, the tribe was excluded from the 1887 General Allotment Act. After striking oil in the 1890s, tribal leaders pushed to ensure the Osage Nation maintained the rights over minerals on the reservation. When the tribal and U.S. governments agreed, the 1906 Allotment Act divided the reservation lands among each of the 2,229 members. Each allottee received the head right for the minerals on their allotted land, which later led to the Reign of Terror in the 1920s.
So we had this new wealth and money from oil, and then have it taken from us for the most part, not only by the murders that occurred, but by the bad acts of the federal government and their agents, businessmen, ranchers, and others who found ways to create laws which made it legal to go ahead in the plan to remove from the Osage their ownership of lands and property. And it's well documented, something they don't teach in schools, but it is well documented.
That well-documented event is the subject of the 2017 book and upcoming movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, which was shot on the Osage Reservation. That movie is expected to release in May 2023.